Before anything else, let us pray. I request everyone to stand. Ms. Reyes, please lead the prayer. Good morning, class! Before you take your seats, kindly pick up the pieces of paper under your chair and arrange your chairs properly. Please be seated. How is your day so far? That is good to hear. So, can I expect a full blast of energy and active participation from everyone? That is great. Miss Secretary, may I know who are the absent for today? Wow, very good. I am so glad that everyone knows the importance of attending school every day. Last meeting, I have given you an assignment, am I right? Please pass it forward. Before we move on to our new lesson, let us first have a recap of what we have discussed last meeting. Do you still remember our last lesson? What is it all about? Mr. Reyes, can you share anything you have learned from the last discussion? Very good. Who can give an example of a verb? Yes, Ms. Gutierrez. Can you make a sentence using the verb? Very good. You may sit down. Do you have any questions about our previous lesson? Is everything clear? Before we formally start our discussion, let us first play Guess the Gibberish. Have you ever tried this game, class? Okay, to those who are not familiar in this game, the mechanics is to only guess the correct word that can be formed from the group of words given. To be able to guess the answer easily, my tip is to read the words constantly. Is my instructions clear? Okay, do you have a question? Okay, let us begin. What do you think is this, Mr. Ramos? Correct. How about the next one, Miss Rayos? Very good. Can you guess the next one, Miss Bahimting? That is right. How about this one, Mr. Alcaraz? Very good. And for the last one, can you try Mr. Laylay? Okay, very good everyone. Did you enjoy the game, class? That is good. Class, those words that are mentioned earlier is related to our topic, which is the types of clauses. Okay, for us to be properly directed in discussing our topic, let me introduce first to you the objectives of today's lesson. Everybody please read. Thank you, class. A clause is a group of words that has the same structure as a sentence and it has both a subject and a verb. Also, a clause sometimes conveys a complete thought depending on the type of clause. To fully understand what a clause is, let us identify if these examples are clauses. Everybody, please read. Let us try the first one. It is said that a clause is a group of words. Is Michael help me a group of words? Yes. Does it contain a subject and a verb? Yes. Michael is the subject and help is a verb here. How about the other one? Has been staying is a group of words? Yes. Does it contain a subject and verb? No. Since has been staying is a verb phrase, which means there is no subject, we couldn't consider it as a clause. Class, are you following? Okay, let us try the third one. Is I feel numb a group of words? Yes. Does it contain a subject and a verb? Yes. I is the subject and feel is the verb. I feel numb is also a clause since it possesses the qualities of a clause. How about the last one? Is after he left the country a group of words? Yes. Does it have a subject and a verb? Yes, he is the subject and left is the verb here. So this one is also a clause. From the given group of words, Michael helped me, I feel numb, and after he left the country have a subject and the verb. That tells an action or state of being. But if we try to analyze these three clauses, the first two clauses, Michael helped me and I feel numb, conveys and express a complete thought. They can stand alone as a regular sentences, but the clause after he left the country, even if it has a subject and a verb, it doesn't give us a complete thought and it looks like it lacks something. Why? This is because a clause have two types, the independent clause and the dependent clause. Michael helped me and I feel numb are both examples of independent clause. What is independent clause? Independent clause is defined as a clause that can stand alone as a complete simple sentence. It is still stands alone even though it usually functioning as a part of a larger sentence. For example, you need to wash the dishes now because my friends are coming. You need to wash the dishes now is an independent clause because it can still stand alone even if it will remove in the given sentence since its meaning and thought is still complete. Moreover, in a sentence, two independent clauses can be connected by coordinating conjunction which is also known as fan voice, wherein F stands for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. When we use one of the fan voice between clauses, it signals that the clauses are equals. What I mean by equals is both of the clauses are independent. For instance, I am not feeling well but I am still answering my assignments. There are two independent clauses in this sentence. I am not feeling well and I am still answering my assignments. The two independent clauses were being connected by the coordinating conjunctions, but do you understand? Okay, aside from using coordinating conjunctions in connecting two independent clauses, we can also use a semicolon. Let us try to connect these two independent clauses. The milk tea shop has different flavors to offer. I couldn't decide which one to order. This will go as the milk tea shop has different flavors to offer. Put a semicolon. I couldn't decide which one to order. Are you following, class? Is there any questions or clarifications about independent clauses? If that's the case, let us now talk about the dependent clause. In contrast to an independent clause, dependent clause does not form a simple sentence by itself. It is also called a subordinate clause, which is connected to the main clause of a sentence by a subordinating conjunctions such as after, when, although, since, because, before, until, while, and so on. Dependent clause may also contain a subject and a verb, but the thought is incomplete or unfinished like these examples. When we grew up, since the store is still closed, although the forecast calls for the rain. The reason why those three clauses are dependent because of the words were, since, and although. Because where we grew up is lacking with what happened or the location of where a person grew up is not stated. The same with the since the store is still closed and although the forecast calls for a rain. This group of words doesn't give us a complete idea about something. Am I right? Okay, let us have another example. The celebrant was surprised when we arrived early to the party. This sentence has two clauses. One is an independent clause and the other one is the dependent clause. Dependent clause needs the independent clause to complete its meaning. When we join an independent clause to a dependent clause, we are joining equals since the independent clause can stand alone and the dependent clause cannot. In this sentence, we use the subordinating conjunction when to connect the two clauses. Here are the list of subordinating conjunction. Try to familiarize yourselves with the following. Okay, if you are asked to look for the independent and dependent clause in the sentence, the first thing you should do is to look for the subordinating conjunction because the dependent clause begins with the subordinating conjunctions and the remaining part of the sentence will be the independent clause. Am I clear to you? Okay, let us have another example. Since Amanda is still sleeping, we have time to eat anything we want to. The subordinating conjunction used is since. The dependent clause here will be since Amanda is still sleeping, and the remaining part of the sentence is the independent clause, which is we have time to eat everything we want to. The dependent clause, since Amanda is still sleeping, needs the independent clause, we have time to eat anything we want to complete its meaning. Is it clear to you? Am I too fast? That's good to hear. Keep in mind that an independent clause can stand alone already and already has a complete thought even without a dependent clause, while dependent clause always needs an independent clause to complete its meaning. Another thing is if one of the coordinating conjunction is used specifically the fanboys, two independent clauses are combined, and if one of the subordinating conjunctions is used, there are one dependent clause which begin with a subordinating conjunction and the other one is a dependent clause. Do you understand, class? Do you have questions? Okay. What are the two types of clauses? Yes, Miss Garing. Very good. Who can give the difference of those two clauses? Yes, Mr. Manalo? Very well said. Aside from that, what have you learned from today's lesson? Let us hear it from Miss Moreno. Very good, everyone. It seems like everyone pay attention in this lesson. Okay, let us have a group activity. We will be using the groupings we made last meeting. Each group will prepare 5 sentences using dependent and independent clauses. After 5 minutes, you have to exchange your works from the other group and you have to identify what types of clauses are used in their sentences by underlining the independent clauses and encircling the dependent clauses. Do you class understood? Is there any question? Okay, you may now go to your respective group and I will be giving you 10 minutes to finish this activity. Time is up. Please exchange your papers from the other group. Okay, I will give you 5 more minutes to identify the dependent and independent clauses in the sentences that your classmates did. You may continue doing your activity now. Just clap 5 times if your group are already done so that I will be reminded who are still answering, okay? Class, are you done with your activity? You may now start presenting your works. The group who finished first will present first, followed by the next one up to the last one. Is that clear? Okay, present it now. Alright, each of you did a great job in our activity, so let us give everyone a big hand. I think everyone already understood our lesson this morning. So for now, get one whole sheet of paper and answer the following. You are given 10 minutes to finish this task. Miss Abaca, please read the direction. Thank you, Miss Abaca. You may start answering now. Class, are you done? Okay, we will now check your answers. Exchange your papers to your seatmates. So, here are the answers. Are you done checking, class? So, who got a perfect score? Very good. Let us give them a round of applause. Okay, now, pass your paper to the person in front of you. So, get your notebooks and copy this assignment. Do you have any question about your assignment? Everybody, please stand. Pick up all brushes under your chairs and arrange your chair properly. Let us call it a day. Goodbye, class.